Season
So,
two.
Acolyte season 2. Are we going to get one? Probably not. I can't imagine we will.
No.
But it was never confirmed either, though. So people saying that it's cancelled. Like there was a few articles and things floating around like a couple months back from bloody Doomcock and Cameron Pasha saying, "Oh, it's been cancelled mid-season." Blah blah blah. Mate, it wasn't renewed for a second season. Shut the fuck up. You sound like morons. Okay, shut up. You sound stupid. It was never renewed. There wasn't even talk of a second season. There was nothing like that. And this one took ages to come out with so many issues. And Cameron Pasha was the person that said it wasn't even going to be coming out anyway. It wasn't even being made. So that bloody tool's flipped his lid, hasn't he? Like, what is it, mate? You got one or the other, son. It's either being made and coming out, or we're getting a second season and it's not getting a second season. Which one is it, mate? Which one is it?
Yeah, the word was it was just a sizzle reel. It wasn't a real show.
Honestly, that guy, he is a few spanners short of a toolbox. I'm telling you now, mate. Anyway,
wait, KK Anon, it doesn't have good information?
Yeah, apparently not. But anyway, so the Acolyte showrunner now is casting doubt on a second season being made. There was never a scope for a second one. They're making these as they go along. I mean, look, Obi-Wan Kenobi came out. If they haven't already announced a second season to that, did you think that they were going to announce a second season to this straight away? Come on, behave. You sound stupid. So she's come out into this Entertainment Weekly sort of article. And so something I've noticed, this first seasons will end on what should have been the break into Act 2. It feels like everyone's really expecting their shows to get a second season. And I don't feel that's a good idea. This is Leslie Headland saying this. I threw everything into season 1 because who knows what's going to happen. So despite Headland being unsure if the show will get renewed for a second season, she did inform the outlet that she has 4 or 5 major mysteries she'd like to explore if it does. And this is pretty textbook. Like, well, I mean, it has been pretty textbook. Not so much lately. She's right in saying that some people do just sort of write a show that it will continue and people get bitterly disappointed. But traditional TV, yeah, they just hit the ground running with one show and then that's kind of it. But yeah, some people are saying, like, what thoughts? I've said a lot. What do you, Nick? I'll go to you first.
No way in hell this show's getting a second season. I mean, it's sitting at what, 13% now on Rotten Tomatoes.
Has it gone even lower, or is it still at 13%?
Last I looked, it was at 13%. I don't know where it's at right now.
Getting lower. Let me have a look.
But yeah,
well, it's up. It's at 14%. What's going on?
It jumped back up to 14.
It's up. Oh no!
You know, funny that you say that, because in our review when we were covering this last episode, Coach was saying, "Where do you think this is going to go with the Rotten Tomatoes score?" I said, and my exact words were, "I think this episode will jump this thing back up from a 13. It'll jump back up to a 14%." And that'll be it. Coach thought it might go up to as high as 18% after this episode, but I was like, no way. 14%. It'll jump back up to there, which is still too high for this show. It should be single digits, like around 8%. Yeah, I'm not surprised that it jumped back up to 14%. But yeah, Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen are both on board for doing another season of Kenobi, which was also a train wreck show. That didn't get renewed for a second season. Book of Boba Fett, it didn't get renewed for a second season. We still haven't gotten confirmation that Ahsoka's getting a second season. In all those shows, we're not even close to as low rating-wise as this show is. So there is no way that they are going to do a second season for this. No way. It is not happening.
I can't imagine it either. So no. I'm with you. Yeah, I think that this show is so poorly written and so poorly showrun, so poorly directed, edited. I mean, I can go through a list of places where this fails. Even the acting is terrible. There's only a couple of moments where you're like, wow, the guy that plays Soul is okay. And he's acting phonetically because English.
This is his first English speaking role.
Yeah.
I will not say there will never be a second season. I think we'll see it just like we'll see Rian Johnson's trilogy. No, I can't even be serious about this shit. No, like the only possible way that this happens is if they Batwham this thing. If basically there is no admitting defeat on Kathleen Kennedy's part and she quadrupled down whatever times now she's gone down on this thing. Like, yeah. Like at this point, like, cause this is the meme, right? I mean, you can't get any closer to the meme than this.
Yeah.
And at this point, you can't keep going with this. You either have to try and regain control of Star Wars. So that means Bob's got to step in again. Or just say F it, and most people are going to realize it's done for, and it just dies off in obscurity after a while because, yeah, I mean, it's just, there's no reason to do a second season.
Yeah, Tom, didn't Bob Iger come out and say like a year or two ago or however long ago it was, to be fair, the buck stops with me on all this stuff.
This was before he left. So this is what, this was before, this was after The Last Jedi and the Solo bomb. He's like, mistakes were made, but the buck stops with me on Star Wars. So he was taking the blame. And then he said, we did too much too fast. The same kind of shit he's saying about Marvel now. But then after he left, this is the only mistake that I could tell that Chapek made, or at least one of the few that he made when he was in office, aside from underestimating Bob Iger himself, was that he, for some dumb reason, told Kathleen Kennedy to quit messing around with blood and bones and worry about Star Wars, Indiana Jones, and Willow. Yes. And that's when everything went to shit again. Because if you recall, after the buck stops with me, it was during the Baby Yoda phase. And when Mandalorian was actually kind of bringing the fans back, or at least a good majority of them, not all of them, but a good number. And then everything went to shit as soon as Kathleen Kennedy was reinserted into the mix. And that's when Gina Carano was fired. Boba Fett happened. Mandalorian went off the rails. This High Republic crap started. So yeah, that's the turning point. And yeah, so unless Bob does that again and actually does put Kathy in her place again for a bit, I don't see this changing anytime soon.
Same. Yeah, me neither.
And then was that Favreau was basically had more free reign then. Now he doesn't. And the rumors we keep hearing, regardless if you believe them or not, they're consistent, are that he wants out. He doesn't want to be any part of this anymore. And it kind of shows.
Kill your own Has anyone heard anything from him about anything?
No, that's what I'm saying. Outside of the Mandalorian Boba Fett movie that we're supposed to get, or Mandalorian Baby Yoda movie we're supposed to get. Yeah. And even that's been just whispers and talks and an announcement, and then just a bunch of rumors that it's getting delayed.
Yeah.
There's a decent chance that everything that's ever announced at Lucasfilm is never going to be made, because Disney in general has a terrible problem with doing that. So would it surprise me if we didn't get Baby Yoda Mando? No. Would it surprise me if Kathleen Kennedy, Dave Filoni were marched out the door tomorrow? No. At this point, nothing surprises me. It wouldn't surprise me if they bring back a terrible Obi-Wan show, despite the fact that it was gosh awful and made nobody pay attention. Would it surprise me if the Andor second season thing never got released? No. Nothing will surprise me here. I think that ultimately is just because I'm so apathetic now about Star Wars, because it's so nonsensical. If something comes out, all right, I'm not interested. If something doesn't come out, okay, I'm still not interested. I'm going to say a bad word. I can't figure out a way to give enough of a fuck to care about any of this anymore.
Yeah. Well, to bring it slightly back on topic a little bit, I guess, to do the second season of this show. I mean, it was never announced. People saying it's been cancelled. It was never announced. People saying it was cancelled a couple of weeks back. Don't listen to them. They're stupid. They're morons. And that's about it, really. Not much else really to say, to be fair. Dragon Reborn has chimed into the conversation, though. Says, I think Tom is right. They're going to probably Batwoman this heap of turd, and KK will go ahead with it. They will probably do a season 2.
That's the only chance it has, basically. Yeah.
Just to stick to the chuds. No, they no, because again, this isn't the first show that is like this, right? There's all of the shows are like this, and they haven't announced second season, so it's not like this is an outlier, right? It's not like this is the first one, which is all like this and sort of.
No, but what he's saying, he's seeing where I'm coming from is if there's like that monochrome of a chance that it does get a second season, it's only because Kathleen Kennedy has decided that this is the hill she's going to die on.
Well, yeah, but it'd be a weird hill. I know
it would. I agree with you. Like the chance is so small. Yeah. And that was my example was how Batwoman being such a low rated show, they just kept it going. It was all about the principle.
Yeah.
Had nothing to do with anything else.
Well, again, my point is it's a weird hill to die on, given that there's other shows which are equally like as well. They're not as bad as this, but they're still equally representative of the message that they're trying to push. But never mind, we'll move on from this. Still an interesting thing to take a look at.